What I'm doing here is I'm making a jig so that I can cut a whole bunch of these here. These are going to be basically mounting plates for everything on my quad rotor. As you can see here, I've got a bunch of them. There. These ones here. The problem I'm having is accuracy. I made a wooden jig, as you can see, this thing here, but as I used it more and more, the holes stopped being accurate. So I've got all these crooked things now that won't hold it properly, so I measured everything out properly with this, and I'll be able to lock on these here, as you can see, just like that, nice and tight. As long as I mark everything center, and flip it over, I'll clamp it together, and then I'll drill each hole individually through it, boom, flip this over, drill it again, same deal. So actually, I think I'll go ahead and try one of those and see if it works. So I line everything up nice and center. I've got it marked, as you can see. Okay, it's nice and tight. Let's try a hole. So, as I'm looking, it seems like my holes all are lining up nicely. Just pop it off the jig. Oh, it's sticking together. I guess there's still a little bit of shavings in there. As you can see in there. Thinking if you can see here, 5mm right in the middle, 5mm, 5mm, and 5mm all the way down. Sweet. So that one worked. Now I'll just flip it over, reattach it, centered, then clamp it down. I think this is going to be a much better alternative to trying to do it with the wood. The wood was easy to make the jig out of, but it turned out not to be the best. yeah, so now that I've got this, there's a good chance I'm gonna have to rework a bunch of parts now, but that's okay. I might even have to totally recut them, but I've got a bit of aluminum left and I might be okay. I figure maybe I'll let you guys take a quick look at the evolution of the way things have worked out on these arms. Well, when I first started, I was planning on doing it by double buttressing these kind of things, one next to each other. This is 1/8 of an inch thick, so it's quite heavy and bulky, and it actually didn't really look that good. I was going to put square tubing in it, in between. It would have been nice and strong. It would have been actually a lot simpler than what I'm doing in the end, but what can I say? If you're going to do something, do it right. So I scrapped these. I don't know, I might end up using them for rebuilding the arm mount, but then it evolved to double buttressing these here, which I actually had set up, but I didn't like the way they were looking. They ended up having to be quite thick because, or well, quite wide, because of the way these clamping mounts are. They're exactly 1 inch wide, but to mount it, I had to flip this thing on the outside because of where the bolts ended up being, and it just ended up being quite massive. Now what I've done is they've evolved to a much better style of arm. They were doubled, but now the issue I was having was they were flexing quite a bit, so I put these cross braces here, and I plan on, I'm just going to run my wiring and everything and put my ESC right in here if I can, if it'll reach. I may have to shorten these tubes a little bit. This has to be quite strong. I plan on mounting big round shrouds, which are going to end up being 16 inches wide. So this, well, let's say, where are we here? From here to here, from center. So they're going to be quite big. Yeah, now that I look at it here, that's going to be my center there. I'm going to be attaching more tube clamps on here and putting the larger, I forget what they're called, cowling I guess it would be called, to go around it to match the actual design I was going for. Other than that, all it really is now is I'm going to cut a bunch of these here, these things, and I'm going to start reworking my arms again and maybe cleaning this up, making it a little nicer looking. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that exactly yet, but time will tell. Time will tell. Things are moving along fairly quickly. I'm actually waiting on my props right now. In any case, this just came out. You can see it's still got some burrs. So flattening it down, nice and smooth. Doesn't cause any inaccuracies. Looks like my holes are getting cut nice and even. This is kind of perfect. I'm really happy with the results now. It's just a little disappointing. I'm gonna have to rework all these pieces, just because my holes are definitely. Oh well, some of them are. At least these ones are going to line up. That's good. I'll be able to figure something out for the rest. Nice thing about aluminum is it's nice and soft. You can pretty much score it with anything. Let's give her a little cut here. I can even cut it with a regular wood bit or blade. Easy. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can tell here, as I made this is one of the reasons I'm kind of experimenting around is when I did this, these top holes on your screen are going to look a little off to their left as to these holes. Now, it might not seem like anything that important, but that will cause over time, or well, distance, quite a different angle on my arms, which is frustrating. I'm working on it.